guys, welcome back. I'm Olivia with Olivia's Romantic Home. Today's video, I am over the moon excited to share with you guys 50 DIY, Dollar Tree, and budget-friendly decor crafts. Listen, this is a binge-worthy compilation video, so grab a cup of coffee, hot cocoa, whatever you love to drink, a snuggly blanket, and kick back. I'm gonna get you guys so ready for fall decorating. And also, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's totally free, and comment down below because I am hosting a giveaway, hint, hint. So you guys don't want to miss out on that. Now, listen, without further ado, let's go ahead and plug in those glue guns, get out your glitter and paint, and let's get to crafting. Let me share with you guys how to create this so chic Dollar Tree fall garland. So you're going to take 2 of the Dollar Tree beaded garlands and simply tie them together. Now you can see that there's a kind of a space in the center. What I want to do is just add in some Dollar Tree leaves as I go along with this garland. So these are the leather leaves, and leather is so in for fall this season, you guys, mixing leather, copper, and just some different textures. So I'm also wanting to add in some of these cute little black and white leaves just to give it some dimension. I'm going to use this in my kitchen above my stove, and I have a lot of black and white check goodies. So here is how it looks so far. Now the black and white leaves already had a little hole in them, so I'm simply using a little bit of twine to tie the black leaves on, and I'm going every other one, and I'm counting every 5 beads, 5 to 6 beads, and then I'm adding a leaf because I want it to be kind of evenly spaced. So again, I counted several beads, and then I'm going to add in some more leather leaf. This is such a fun and easy craft, and I'm telling you, it comes out so adorable. These garlands can be really expensive in your home decor stores or craft stores, and we did this on a total budget. I have to give it a shout out to my sweet friend Stacy's for the beautiful sign that she sent me. I put it above my stove, and I think it looks absolutely gorgeous with this garland. Okay, you guys, I have a super exciting giveaway to share with you all. I'm going to be giving away a box of Rose Forever roses. You guys can pick the color of roses that you want. They have all different colors and styles. They have red, white, purple, pink, and they have different boxes and shapes. These roses I am obsessed with. Rose Forever is a company based in New York, and they specialize in long-lasting rose arrangements. They're made from 100% natural, real fresh flowers. They use only natural oils to preserve their roses, and the bouquets are handcrafted by professional rose artisans. The roses come in round, square, heart-shaped boxes with different textures like velvet, suede, marble, and even crystal clear boxes you can see into. The different sizes are from 9 to 49 roses, and they even have a single mini rose box. They're vegan and deliver worldwide, and they have a coupon code for you guys, Olivia20, to receive $20 off. Okay, I love the stacked pumpkin in the urn from Mackenzie Childs, but the $998 price tag, not so much. So I ran to Dollar Tree and grabbed some of these buckets. These are a 3-tier bucket. What I want to do is create that checkerboard pattern. So I'm taking the tape and I'm just making stripes going down the pumpkin and then around. Now, normally I would hand paint the entire thing, but I didn't have any black paint for this project. So I grabbed the black paint in my craft stash and just went ahead and taped it off. And I'm hoping for the best. And here is the reveal. I did pretty good. Usually I don't always do this good with my spray painting. The next thing I wanted to do was create the checkerboard effect, so I'm just using some chalk paint. This I found at Walmart, and I'm just going to fill in the checkerboard parts. So you could leave it black, white, and orange, but to replicate the Mackenzie Childs tiered pumpkin, theirs is a black and white one, so I'm going to do my best to do that. And again, I'm just coloring in the white spots. So once I have all the white colored in, I'm going back in with some of this black chalk paint. I noticed that it was more of a gray, even though it says black chalk paint, and it was just a little bit drippy. So again, I didn't have black paint on hand. Since then, I have run to Walmart, grabbed black paint so I can do some better checks for you guys. But hey, we're gonna go for it. And also, I just want to tell you guys, really, when you're painting the Mackenzie Child inspired projects and really any projects in general, I was actually talking to my friend Jake about this the other day. When something is hand painted, you want to see the real lines of it being hand painted. We don't want it to look perfect. It doesn't have to be cookie cutter. Mine definitely is not. And also, if you examine and observe any of the pieces from the Mackenzie Child's Royal Check line, they have a lot of the paint that's pulled in to the rest of the paint. So anyway, you guys can see it kind of got a little drippy, so I did have to clean that up. I'm also going in with some of this gold paint and a little bit of the chalked black paint to kind of give the rest of the pumpkin some dimension. Here is the final look. Now, I just set it out here for display purposes only. I suggest that this be used inside with all of the work that goes into it, or definitely seal it with some type of waterproof sealer, but I think we did pretty good for a $5 bucket from Dollar Tree. I found these gorgeous mums on Grandin Road for $219, but I was not crazy about the price. So I grabbed these greenery spheres that I had from Hobby Lobby, and I had painted things pink this summer. So I had this leftover berry pink paint from Walmart, and I recommend grabbing Rust-Oleum 2X paint. It is the best spray paint on the market. And I just went ahead and used 1 can of the berry pink on 2 spheres, and it didn't completely cover, but I had some wine colored paint also left over from another project. So after I painted everything pink, I just added in some, just barely glazing the top with some of the wine color. So I wanted it to appear like those really pretty pink purple mums that you see on Grandin Road for $219. Now, Hobby Lobby has these spheres. I've had mine for several years and they have them on 40% off. I'm not completely for sure how much they are. I really don't remember, but I know that they aren't $200. I want to say full price they're maybe $50, so when they're half off they're maybe $25. Not completely for sure about that, but definitely much more budget friendly, and I think they turned out super adorable. Now I'm going to add them into my front porch decor, and I'm going to share with you guys in different DIY parts how I did this entire front porch. But these little planters, and I need you guys' opinion on this. So there's my workout weights. I bought those when I had broken my ankle and couldn't get to the gym, but I'm going to go ahead and put those in the bottom of my planters, and that way my planters don't go falling over. I get a lot of wind on the hill here, but then I'm just going to go ahead and add my pretty fake mums. I think they're so gorgeous, and I had everything I had on hand already. I'm also going to share with you guys how we're going to make these pumpkin topiaries, and guess what? Those pumpkin topiaries are from the Dollar Tree, you guys. So really look around your house and use your imagination. You probably have more on hand for making a pretty fall front porch. And some of you guys comment that maybe you don't have a front porch, maybe you have a front patio or even a front entryway. Some of these ideas can be replicated by your front patio or entryway. So here is how my beautiful fake mums turned out. I feel like the $219 version are really beautiful, but mine are much better and with a can of spray paint. And the best thing about these, which I really love, is that there's no way that these can die. So I love that. For some reason, I'm terrible at keeping mums alive. My moms always look beautiful. Mine, not so much. But these are fun, fabulous, and very, very budget friendly. So look around your house, see what kind of greenery, little spheres you might have on hand, and you can easily turn those into a fun and fabulous fall mum. So I found this $998 fall farm stacked urn on Mackenzie Child's website, and I'm hoping I can do it with some of the Dollar Tree supplies I already have on hand. I'm going to use 3 things for this. I'm going to use a Dollar Tree storage basket, one of their little candy pedestal bowls, and I'm just going to use some E6000 glue and hot glue to put that on top of the little locker bin that I have flipped over. And then again, I'm going to use E6000 hot glue. And then I have this party bowl from the party section. Now I had to get really creative, and I really just used the things that I had on hand. I normally would have used some Dollar Tree planters to create this look, but it's at the end of the summer and my Dollar Tree just doesn't have anything in their garden section. You know, that's how Dollar Tree is. They just are pretty random on what they have out, and it's very seasonal, to be honest with you. So this was my attempt to create these urns. Man, I think they turned out really cute, but let me tell you, they are not very sturdy. So do not put these outside. I'm sharing with you guys how I put them outside. I currently have mine outside, but I'll tell you, one has already toppled off. So maybe you guys have some ideas, but I feel like the little base of them just aren't, like the candy part base isn't very sturdy. Now to make it look a little bit more Mackenzie Child's like, I just went ahead and added some of the pretty Mackenzie Child's ribbon. I am a super big Mackenzie Child's fan, if you guys don't know. I've been doing their dupes for years on my channel. I love their stuff, but I just can't justify spending that money, and I don't have that money to spend on it. So I just want to share with you guys how I'm doing it on a budget, and maybe it'll give you guys some ideas on how you could create something similar. So again, I'm adding in the pretty ribbon up underneath the bowl part of my pedestal, and you know, I don't know if it's a craft win or if it's a craft fail. You guys are going to have to let me know down below. This would be great if it was just like next to your fireplace and it wasn't going to be knocked around by the wind. We've had so many storms this year. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. I think they turned out honestly pretty cute for $3 versus $998, which of course I do believe that urn includes the stacked pumpkin. So, and Mackenzie Child's their items are really, really, really nice. They're very high quality and very high end. And the artists who design their designs, I have mad respect for. So I completely understand why, because they're all hand painted by real people. So that's why they're so expensive. And even I think some of the paint and the gold paint that they rim their items with has like real gold in it, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, here's Benji Bear. He wanted to help along with the project, but I think they came out super adorable, a little bit flimsy, but hey, budget friendly. Okay, here's how my faux urns look. Again, they're Dollar Tree goodies and they're a bit flimsy. The pumpkins that I have in them are wooden and they're a little bit, so it makes it a little bit top heavy. I think if I took some leaves and glued some leaves around the base of my urns, that might help them be a little bit more sturdy or reinforce them with maybe some nautical rope, but they look cute on display. So I'm going to see how long they hold up and I'll let you guys know. Let me know what you guys think about this project down below. I like to hear your input and your feedback. You know, I look around my house and always try to, you know, just grab things that I already have on hand to create looks on a budget and also things to share with you guys. I am looking for some nice urns. My buddy Jake said he has some, so I'm going to pop up to the antique shop one day and check that out as well. Now for this next Dollar Tree DIY, I want to share with you guys how I'm going to take one of those Dollar Tree stacked pumpkin signs, and these are $1.25 at Dollar Tree. So run to your local Dollar Tree. They look like a Mackenzie Child's dupe, already painted and ready to roll. I'm just taking the end of a curtain. You guys could also use a Dollar Tree broomstick, and I just attached it with a zip tie to the end of this. I want to create a little stand to pop these in to my little fake mums that I painted. I'm also going to reinforce this little Dollar Tree sign with some waterproof Mod Podge. I'm going to put it underneath my covered front porch, but it does get rather wet when it rains here. We get a lot of windy rain where I live, and so if you guys are going to be putting something like this outside, it's definitely going to need to have some type of clear coat on it that's a waterproof. They also make, I think, a spray called Never Wet that's supposed to be good as well. You'll have to let me know about that. So I'm just going to pop them in to my little fake mums here that we painted, and then I'm going to add some more fall goodies. So I've got this fall grass and some little leaves and a copper pick. I'm just going to bundle them together and zip tie them to the top of the sign. I want to create something that looks really high end, and we're doing this on a budget. Now, these little picks you can find at Dollar Tree, Hobby Lobby, pretty much anywhere has some little fun fall picks. Here is the final look, and I'm going to share with you guys later in the video on how to do the garland. It's actually pretty easy, and my buddy Caleb went shopping with me at Hobby Lobby to find the garland pieces that I use for my front door. The garlands at Hobby Lobby can be a little pricey, but if you get them when they're 40-50% off, they're definitely a much better deal, and then you can just add some pretty bows to really kind of fill things out. So my sweet friend Caleb and I went shopping at Hobby Lobby for fall goodies for my front entryway and found these beautiful light up pumpkins, and they're a little bit of a splurge, but they are so worth it. They make it really magical with the lights added inside and the textural element that the basket weave brings into the picture. And I can't wait to share with you guys how I put this all together.
You know what? I think you could use bricks to do a stair step. I kind of like that. Okay guys, so we have found so many great options here. There's whites and greens and all forms of pumpkins, but we have decided to truly go with the tall, skinnier version pumpkin, our copper pumpkin, and also our grapevine wicker basket pumpkin. And guys, you want to always remember pairs of 3 are great. So we're going to do a stair step. So what do you guys think? This one lights up. We're going to set this one guy up with a brick. So you've got bricks around the house or cedar block, and we can make that cute for the holidays. So stay tuned for more. Okay guys, we have just found the garland for the front door. What do you think? It's gonna go great with these copper pumpkins and the wicker and then the orange for the pumpkin color. So excited about this.
Okay, so for this DIY, we're going to create the fall garland that I'm going to put over my doorway, and I'm going to use this pool noodle and cut it into 3 different sections. I want to attach the garland to the pool noodle, and I want to make sure that it doesn't show through, so I just took a little bit of gold spray paint and went ahead and spray painted over the pool noodle. My buddy Jake taught me how to do that. You guys are going to go back and watch some of our videos, but I'm just taking this garland that I found at Hobby Lobby on my shopping trip with my sweet friend Caleb, and I'm just attaching the garland to the pool noodle with some zip ties, and then I'm going to take some extra picks and just kind of pick them in to the garland. The pool noodle allows the garland to kind of lay flat against the top part of my doorway, and it also allows me for something to pick in some different extra goodies into and attach my bows to. The next thing I want to do is take my easy bow maker and this pretty ribbon. I also found this at Hobby Lobby. I'm going to use this beautiful orange copper color, this leaf print color, and just a tiny bit of Mackenzie Childs ribbon. I love the ribbon, but it's so expensive, so I'm just taking and I just cut a small piece and added that into the center part of my bow. And then I'm going to add in some of this pretty ribbon that I found at the thrift store. I love my easy bow maker. It makes it so much easier to hold bows. And then I'm just going to take a zip tie and tie that part off. Now I'm going to go ahead and hang this over my doorway. I have 3 nails already attached to the top part of my doorway that I'm going to zip tie my garland to, and I do have to hang my garland a little bit extra over my door because the screen door comes so close to the top part of my door that the garlands always get caught in them and blows my little screen door around. So then I took 2 pieces of the garland. So I bought 2 garlands total and I cut one in half. So here is the half part, and I just made 2 little swags, and I also attached them to the little pool noodles. And again, that keeps it from banging around against my house and gives me something extra to pick goodies into. So I'm taking that leaf garland that Caleb and I found at Hobby Lobby, and I just cut it into sections, and I'm going to piece that in to the original garland, and it kind of lightened things up a little bit. And then I'm going to add in my bows, and I ended up adding in 3 sets of bows to this garland. And here is my kitty cat Tinky. She wants to say hi to you guys. Here is the final look on how I put everything together using my Hobby Lobby goodies. I did add height to my pumpkins. I put the basket pumpkin in the back, but what do you guys think? Should I add the orange pumpkin to the back and pull the basket pumpkin down? I definitely also need to get probably some sturdier little urns than the one that I made using Dollar Tree goodies, but it did give it some height. So there is that. I really love how everything turned out. This is pretty different, I feel like, from how I usually create my fall garlands. I feel this is a little bit more royal and elegant. Usually I go for kind of more of a farmhouse style, but I do feel like it has kind of some farmhouse elements in it, as well as some Mackenzie Childs elements. Now, originally when I bought my front door mat, I thought I was going to be doing an all neutral front fall door, and then I went with a lot more bolder colors. So let me know if you guys think I should change that mat out and do something black and white. I hate to do that because I think it's really cute. I do love the neutral, but I'm also wondering how it's going to hold up once things start to get a little bit more muddy and the weather begins to change around here. But let me know what your favorite part of this garland and this video is. I love sharing with you guys so many different ideas on a budget, and I had so much fun creating this fall front porch. I did put some greenery on the back of my little Dollar Tree topiary that I made. So let me know what you guys think about that. I really want to add more bows and even some Christmas ornaments to it, but let me tell you guys, this took 2 days to complete and I'm still not finished. I have more pumpkins I'm going to paint. I need to add more black and white pumpkins. I painted about 10 pumpkins today, but I haven't added the stripes. So the next thing I want to share with you guys, which is the last part of putting my fall front porch together, is going to be my wreath. I had bought a wreath at Hobby Lobby a couple years ago that was already pre-done. So now I just want to share with you guys how I'm going to make this bow, and I'm going to make this bow using the Easy Bow Maker. I've been sharing with you guys that I've been struggling a little bit with carpal tunnel in my hands, and some days it's worse than others. It seems like it's been a lot better recently. I started taking collagen and putting it in my coffee, so that seems to help. But the reason I'm talking about that is that because the Easy Bow Maker acts as your fingers instead of having to actually hold the bow in your hand. I know you can tie a really nice bow, but to make all these layers, it just makes it easier. So I'm using this beautiful brown copper ribbon, and this is from Kirkland's. Actually, my friend Jake is allowing me to use some of this ribbon. Hi, Jake, if you're watching this. I'm going to be popping up to Bratton Antique House actually tomorrow to film with Jake. We're going to be doing some new crafts for you guys. Super excited for that. Can't wait to share that one with you guys. But I'm just layering this bow with some copper and some leaves, and then that ribbon that I found at the thrift store. I just want to make it really look nice and full. I was on the Mackenzie Childs website and I noticed they had a really big, beautiful wreath, and they used just really lots of fall florals and pretty ribbon in there. So I created a large one of these for the side and then a couple smaller ones to kind of add in to that wreath. And I have another special guest. My friend India is going to be coming up, and she's going to be crafting along with me in another video. Just so many fun friends. And, you know, as the kids have grown up and moved off to college, it does get a little lonely in my studio, you guys. I'm going to go ahead and admit that to you. My daughter is off to school during the day, and so it's been fun to have so many guests and friends in my home. and my studio crafting it up with me. So I just added this pretty bow to my wreath, and then I added a couple more. And again, this one is from Hobby Lobby, and it's so full and beautiful. I just know I'll be able to keep this for years. I got it a couple years ago when they were 40% off, and even look for when they go 60 to 70% off. When Caleb and I were shopping at Hobby Lobby, I got the most beautiful wooden chargers, and they were like $2, and normally they were super expensive. I think they were 70 or 90% off. I don't know. Their clearance section though is amazing. Okay, so I'm adding in 2 more little bows just to fluff this up, and I used a tiny bit of that Mackenzie Childs ribbon. All I want for Christmas is Mackenzie Childs ribbon. It is so pretty, it's so high end, and it's really nice ribbon. It's like lined beautifully in the back. So here is how that turned out, and here is my final look. I'm going to pop this onto my front door. I think I need to add a little bit more pops of color to the top part of my garland. I'm really happy with my fall front porch though. I think it came out really, really beautiful. And as always, I ask you guys comment down below. Let me know what was your favorite DIY in this video and which one will you be recreating. I love to hear what you guys are up to. You know, and even sometimes things look different in person. I feel like this looks so much prettier in person. I filmed this earlier in the morning, and sometimes that early morning light washes some of the colors out and makes them look a little bit off. But I really just want to convey to you guys how beautiful it looks and how beautiful I'm imagining that your front porches look and that your homes are looking as you start crafting and decorating for fall. I think it's so fun. I always imagine my kids coming home and just feeling so cozy. And when they were little, they would come home and I would bake cookies for them. And I still do for my daughter, you know. But the big kids are off to college. My goodness, I can't believe it, you guys. If you've been here from the beginning of YouTube or when I've been posting on social media, I've been on social media for 10 years. So my kids have, you know, grown up. Wow. And it's funny to, you know, just kind of having documented that in my mind all along the way, the different looks that I've done on my home and thinking about where they were at and their journey and all of that kind of fun stuff. And thank you guys for being here. You guys are my friends, and you know, I love hearing from you guys, and I'm hoping maybe to do some workshops coming up. Would you guys be interested in something like that, crafting along with me? I would love to know. So I love y'all, and I'm blessed to have y'all here, and I hope you're having a gorgeous, fabulous, blessed day and you're enjoying this video. This super awesome little Dollar Tree hack with the Dollar Tree window clings. So I'm just going to take this basic little candle that my daughter had picked up for me from Target. I'm going to remove the sticker label, and then I'm going to take some of the Dollar Tree fall window clings. What I want to do is add them to this candle to make it a really cute little personalized candle. So I'm adding in this cute little kind of plaid pumpkin, and I thought that turned out really cute, but then I got the idea to keep going with it. So I thought this thankful, grateful, blessed window cling would also be adorable. So it's actually kind of two-sided. It can either be the pumpkin, or it can be the thankful, grateful, blessed. And then the next thing I want to do is add in some cute little leaves. This is also a great project that you guys can do with your kiddos or your grandkids. I love these kind of easy projects, no glue, no mess, no fuss. And these candles from Target worked really well. There was no sticky film when I removed the original label. The next thing I want to do is really jazz things up by adding a topper. They have these cute little toppers like this at Bath & Body. You can also put a magnet on the top of this. So this is just the candle lid. I added a cute little sparkly pumpkin, and bam, we have this very customized, beautiful, thankful, grateful, blessed pumpkin candle. You would never know that this was a Dollar Tree window cling. I feel like it's very personable, and there are so many different Dollar Tree window clings that they put out for every season. I'm always wondering what to do with them. Well, now you guys know they cling to anything that's kind of a glass surface. So the sky is the limit on this one. Happy crafting, and go for it. let me share with you this awesome Dollar Tree hack. From the Dollar Tree, you're going to grab one of their chargers. You could also use a placemat. You're going to take a pack of their leaves and simply separate them out and separate them into all the different colors. You want to have a hot glue gun on hand, and we're basically going to create a blooming fall charger decor piece. These are amazing to put underneath candles, to add a pretty centerpiece to. You want to kind of layer your leaves and start with the outward pattern first. So I'm adding in reds, yellows, greens, oranges, and I will tell you that if you want this to be a little bit more full with a little bit more leaves and colors to play with, grab 2 of the Dollar Tree packs of leaves, but I only had 1 pack on hand, so I was really having to concentrate and focus and make sure that it was kind of blooming outwards, but it ended up working out absolutely perfect. So if you only have 1 bag on hand, there come 50 leaves to a bag in Dollar Tree, and this is a little Dollar Tree charger. I chose a silver one because it was kind of mucked up, and then I'm just going to take my hot glue gun and simply hot glue the leaves. Again, this would be a fun one your kiddos could help you with as long as you were using the hot glue gun. They could help you, figure out the placement of the leaves and whatnot, and this makes such a beautiful high-end centerpiece. I saw something like this at Pier 1 for about $30-something a couple of years ago, and I was like, wow, we can do this for basically about $3. I'm adding in this cute little set of gourds, sunflower, and this little candle that we DIY'd, and bam, look at how beautiful this is. Dollar Tree is also carrying the most adorable acorns. I added that into this, and I feel like this is a really nice, easy centerpiece. It looks so fall festive. You could also put just a giant pumpkin in the center of this, and you could even do this on a larger scale if you guys really wanted to go to town, or you could create several placemats. I've shared with you guys how to do this same idea with one of the Dollar Tree placemats. So fun and fabulous on a total budget. I'm going to leave the recipe in the description box, but to start out with, we're going to grease our little baking dish, and then I'm going to add in my cinnamon rolls. I just used 1 packet of pre-made cinnamon rolls, and then I'm going to add in some heavy whipping cream. I believe this was a little over 1/4 of a cup of heavy whipping cream, and you're going to drizzle that over all of your cinnamon rolls. And they actually originally called for jumbo cinnamon rolls, but I just used regular ones because that's what I had in my refrigerator. The next thing I'm going to do is melt 3 tablespoons of butter, and this is about 1/2 cup of sugar and 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon, and you're going to mix that together really well and then drizzle that all over the top of your cinnamon rolls. You want to preheat your oven to 350, and then once that's ready, you can pop them in the oven. Okay guys, when it has butter, brown sugar, and heavy whipping cream, it's gonna be amazing. I'm gonna pop these in the oven. I have to cover them it says to cook them for 30 minutes. My oven cooks hot, so I'm gonna only put it on for 20 minutes and then give them a check. I'm so excited for my daughter to come home after school to these delicious treats. Now it's time to make the icing. You're going to take the packet of original icing that came with your cinnamon rolls, add a tablespoon of butter, and then I believe it was 1/2 cup of confectioner's sugar. Whip that up really well. Okay guys, I still love to lick the beater. Judging by the delicious taste of this icing, which it is a little bit thick, and I did split that recipe in half, these cinnamon rolls are going to be so delicious. Okay, here is how they look after I baked them for about 15 minutes. It originally called for 20 minutes, but then I removed the foil and added another 5 minutes to the bake time. So it was about 20 to 23 minutes total is how long I left them in, and they are looking so beautiful. I let them cool for about 5 minutes, and then I'm going to go ahead and just use a spatula to add my icing on. And let me tell you guys, these turned out so delicious. When my daughter came home, she kind of looked at me like, Mom, why are you so excited about cinnamon rolls? And I'm like, babe, you have to try these. So I just added in all the icing and then cut myself a big piece because, Mom has to taste test first off. And wow, yummy. These are probably the most delicious treat I have made in so long, and they're pretty much, you guys have everything already in your cupboard or your refrigerator. So check the description box for the actual recipe. Let's create some high-end artwork using this cute little frame I grabbed from TJ Maxx. It was $12, but you guys might have a frame already on hand, and a Dollar Tree placemat. So what you want to do is first remove the insert that is inside of your picture frame. You guys can also look at Hobby Lobby. They have 40% off sales on their frames all the time. You're going to take the insert and you're going to fit it around your mat, and then I flipped mine over because I want to use a Sharpie to trace around it, but you don't necessarily have to do that. But I am a kind of a messy cutting gal, so I just wanted to go ahead and flip that over, and I didn't want you to be able to see the Sharpie. But Dollar Tree has so many cute seasonal mats, and this one says gather here with a grateful heart, and this is basically like $1.25 art plus your frame. And Dollar Tree also carries frames. For some reason I don't have any Dollar Tree frames in my craft stash, so this is going to have to do. But this says gather here with grateful hearts. Look at how beautiful and high end this turned out. I was so impressed. Another fun idea to make something fun is also to take the rest of your leftover placemat and make a bookmark, which I'm going to share with you guys in just a sec. But fun and fabulous Dollar Tree art on a budget. Now, you don't want to waste the rest of your placemat, so my idea was to make 2 bookmarks, one for my daughter and one for her friend. Her friend was driving her home from school. My daughter's car is in the shop. Yes, believe it or not, my little one that you guys might have heard, or seen doing tiny crafts with me when she was a little bitty baby. Not a baby, but she was probably 4 or 5, it seemed like, or maybe, I don't know. Anyway, she was young when I first started YouTube, and now she's a big girl driving herself to school. Anyway, I punched a hole in the top of this, and this is a great craft you can do with your kids or your grandkids. And then I'm just taking this cute little Dollar Tree pumpkin ribbon, and I'm simply going to fold it in half and then push it through the little hole, and then push that little piece of ribbon in. And this craft is so wonderful because once you punch that hole, the placemat is very sturdy, so it's going to be a really sturdy bookmark. It does have kind of that shiny feel because it is, a plastic placemat, but I think these are really adorable. You could always customize this and add somebody's name to it. I popped it in as a surprise to her cute Little Women book, and then just popped it next to this sign. I think it's fun and fabulous and very budget friendly. Now let's make our home smell delicious like it's fall. I love doing this for when my kids come home for the holidays or back to school or whatever. But what I'm going to do is just grab some fruit that has been sitting way too long. It was pretty funky, although it wasn't like bad. I'd had it in my refrigerator, but I don't think that we would have wanted to eat it. So I'm just going to slice up this orange and this lemon. I'm going to add some cinnamon to the fruit, and then I just have a pot of water simmering on my stove. I like to bring the pot of water to a boil first, or you can just simmer it. And then I'm also going to add in some of these little cinnamon sticks. I grabbed them at Target. Last night was back to school, so my daughter realized she didn't have a lunchbox. She thought she had one. We bought one from last year. She never used it. We couldn't find it anywhere, so we had to make a quick Target run, and I said, you know what, babe, I really want to do a simmering pot, so will you grab me some cinnamon sticks? So she did, and then I'm just going to add in some more cinnamon because we want this house to smell like delicious fall. I also added in a little bit of powdered nutmeg just to kind of give it a little bit of dimension to the smell. I got it nice and boiling. Oh, and you guys, after cooking those cinnamon rolls today and then doing the simmering pot and having a fall candle, wow, my home is so fall ready. And if you guys need to be in the mood for fall, definitely this is the way to go. Pop some cinnamon rolls in, add a simmering pot and a cute candle, and you guys have a super bit of fall goodness. Pop down the AC too if it's still a little bit toasty where you're at. Now for this DIY, I want to share with you guys a fun little easy pumpkin server hack. So I'm going to take and remove the stem from this pumpkin, and I'm going to add this pretty little vintage kind of antique tray. I actually found this at the thrift store. I used lots of glue, but I want to make a beautiful kind of serving stand for my table or for my kitchen. I simply hot glued it to the pumpkin, and bam, you have a beautiful serving tray, or you can add in home decor to it. I'm taking this leftover Dollar Tree pumpkin. I had it left over in my craft stash, and then I'm just going to add a clear little plate to the top of that, and then I have a mini serving that I can put on top of this larger serving or just on its own. But these make cute little stands. You guys can add home decor to it, a candle, a little faux mini muffin. Here it is with my cinnamon rolls on it, or I also just grabbed a bunch of goodies that were in my craft stash, so I added in one of those cute little Dollar Tree Christmas trees, a little sign. I ended up taking the sign down, but some corn, some more leaves, just all kinds of fun stuff. You guys can really get creative with it. Now I was just using stuff out of my craft stash, so I need to go back in and kind of color coordinate this a little bit better, but I think it's a fun idea on a budget if you guys have extra pumpkins, or if you have pumpkins floating around in your craft stash that you have removed the tops to, or that the tops have broken off of. Fun and fabulous on a total budget. And then we have my trusty assistant, Benji Bear. He is always in the kitchen waiting for a nice little delicious treat from Mom. He was also kind of missing sister going back to school, but we filled the time with baking and crafting, and before we knew it, she was home sweet home. So say hi to Benji Bear, all his puppy dog and kitty cat fans, and we love y'all. Let me share with you this awesome Dollar Tree hack. We're going to create a beautiful swag using a Dollar Tree splatter screen. So the first thing you want to do with your splatter screen is we're going to take and add some burlap ribbon around the splatter screen. This is extra. You guys could always paint your splatter screen, but we kind of want to cover it up just so it doesn't show through it all. And you're going to see my friend crafting next to me. This is my dear friend India. India, thank you so much for joining me in my studio. We're kind of doing like a little mini workshop. I have known her since the 3rd grade, so I love you, girl. So the next thing we're going to do is just take some little zip ties and zip tie a beautiful fall leaf. I got this from Dollar Tree, and then I grabbed a bundle of fall florals from Walmart. So it was $5 for this whole bundle of sunflowers and leaves and all that kind of fun stuff. We cut all of the individual flowers off, and now we're just picking them in. So I'm doing a leaf and then a sunflower and then another leaf, and you can see my sweet friend India working next to me. This is her first time crafting. She's actually a nurse, and let me tell you, she killed it. So I've been talking to you guys a little bit about workshops, and it kind of gave me the confidence to possibly teach a workshop one day for you guys. The last thing we want to do is go ahead and add in some greenery, and I will tell you I used zip ties to tie in all my florals at the top part of the splatter screen, and I also wrapped the splatter screen handle in some nautical rope. So here is how it turned out. Now let's make a quick little easy bow. This is a great bow hack. You're going to take your ribbon and measure your ribbon from your wrist to your elbow. That's going to create about a 12-inch bow. Then you're going to take and loop the ribbon over on itself, and I think this might be India's first time making a bow too, so man, props to you, girlfriend. So we're going to go ahead and take that ribbon, loop it over on itself about 5 to 6 times, and then find the center of your ribbon. Now we have this center point. We're going to take another zip tie and zip tie that into the center. That's going to give you a really, really secure bow. I'm going to hang these outside my house, and so I want to make sure that the bow doesn't blow off, that the florals don't blow off. So I used zip ties to secure my florals to the top of my splatter screen, and then I'm also going to zip tie my bow. So once you have your loops made, you're just going to fluffy it out and then attach it again with another zip tie to the top of your splatter screen. This is right underneath the handle. And then we're going to take another piece of ribbon, cut that off, and just go ahead and zip tie that on to the center part of your bow. That's going to create your tails, and your tails are going to kind of cascade down the side of your swag. This is such an amazing hack, and you guys don't have to use these outside of your home. You can easily use them over a mirror, any place that you need a little pop of color for your fall decor. I'm also going to add in this beautiful little Dollar Tree pumpkin pick. Now the candy corn ribbon, I cheated and I did get that at Hobby Lobby. I was shopping with my sweet friend Caleb and he found it and he was like, oh, you gotta have this. So here is how I'm going to attach them outside of my home. So fun and fabulous and very budget friendly. Let's create a Dollar Tree Deco mesh wreath on a total budget. So grab one of those Dollar Tree signs. I chose this larger pumpkin topiary sign and then just a small mini wreath. And then you're gonna need one roll of the Dollar Tree Deco mesh. If you can't find the Deco mesh, grab some at your local craft store. This is my sweet friend India, again, crafting along with me. I love having somebody in the studio. I get a little lonely crafting at home, and she's trying to help me get my home ready for my fall home tour. So what we're doing with this mesh is cutting the mesh into 12-inch strips. The next thing we want to do is grab whatever ribbon you love. I'm using this spooky ribbon from Dollar Tree, and then some candy corn ribbon from Hobby Lobby, and then some check ribbon that I got off of Amazon. But we want to cut this in about 8 to 10-inch strips. So I cut all the mesh up, and then I cut 8 pieces of ribbon for our decor. So what you want to do is bundle your mesh together in your fingers. And India has never really used deco mesh, and I was like, don't be afraid of it. And so this gave her so much confidence. She's a traveling nurse, so this was super fun to craft with somebody who, you know, doesn't craft very often. It just brought me so much joy. So again, I'm hoping to teach some workshops one day, and it showed me that I can also teach, you know, in real life person, not just, you know, showing a video to you guys. So anyway, you're going to take and bundle your ribbon on top of your mesh, and you guys can really choose any ribbons you love. This is what I had on hand. To the top of our little wreath form, we're going to zip tie our bundle of mesh and ribbons. Don't be afraid of this mesh, and don't be afraid of the ribbon, you guys. You can totally do this. Now this time we're going to take and we're going to double up on our mesh. It's totally optional, but it's going to save you a little bit on ribbon. So we're using 2 pieces of mesh and then adding in the layers of ribbon. And you're just going to continue to do that until you have all the bundles made, and then you're just going to attach them to the outside edge of my wreath form. I've shared with you guys this swag kind of before, but we've never done one with a pumpkin, and I just thought that this turned out really fun, and it's super easy and budget friendly. So maybe you don't have the time to do an entire wreath, and maybe you don't even have the money for the supplies for a whole wreath. So this took 1 roll of deco mesh, ribbon of choice, and then a large Dollar Tree sign and some zip ties. I'm really crushing on using zip ties because it really attaches things really, really well. It makes it very friendly to wind. We've had so many storms lately this year. I'm really conscious of making sure things are staying nice and attached, but you guys could also use pipe cleaners. I used those for years. My fingers, I'm having a little bit more trouble with my fingers now. I've got some carpal tunnel going on. As many years as I've been crafting, not surprised. Oh, and we got these matching aprons off of Amazon. So India and I have been friends since we were in the 3rd grade. So since we were like 8 years old, so 30 something years maybe. Anyway, I'm aging myself, maybe 40 years. I don't know. But here is how it is turning out. Now Dollar Tree is selling these little candy corn picks. I think these are so adorable. I decided to add these in since we also had some candy corn ribbon in here. And again, the candy corn ribbon is from Hobby Lobby. Shopping with my sweet friend Caleb, he showed me that candy corn ribbon and I was in love. I actually do love candy corn. My whole family does. A lot of you guys, like, I think the jury's out on candy corn is either a hit or a miss, but it's a hit in our home. So anyway, here is how it is turning out, and I think India did fabulous. Again, she just is popping up here once a week when she can to kind of help me out, help me get my home ready for my little fall fall home tour and really just to hang out. You know, as we get older, I think that time with friends is even more and more precious, and our kids are kind of growing up and moving out of the house, so we're kind of like, what can we do now? But I have a group of ladies that I have been friends with. We call ourselves the Yaya Sisters. So this is one of my besties. And maybe I'll do a workshop with the Yaya Sisters and hopefully you guys one day. So here is how it turned out. So fun, fabulous, very budget friendly. Let me know what you guys think about this cute little craft. 12-inch pieces of ribbon. We're going to use 2 for this bow and hot glue them end to end. This is a total bow hack, especially if you are bow challenged like me. You're then going to take the ribbon and squinchy it together and tie it off in the center with another piece of ribbon, a zip tie, or a piece of floral wire. So you're going to cut another piece of ribbon for your tails and simply tie that off in the center. In the background, you can see my good friend Jake, and he is working on placing leaves in and around the top part of the plate. That is going to create a blooming centerpiece effect, and we're putting it on top of this old thrift store crock. You could place it on top of any vase or anything that you all have on hand. You just want to use something that gives your creation height. The next thing we want to do is create a pumpkin topiary, but we're going to create a Tipsy pumpkin topiary. So take some of these Dollar Tree pumpkins and using a skewer, you're going to skewer your pumpkin and pop it into the first pumpkin. You're going to cut them just long enough for them to be able to fit into each other. So this is kind of like a Tipsy pop, but it's a Tipsy pumpkin. I had this idea for my summer Tipsy pop. You'll have to go back and watch that video. Anyway, I'm going to add the last one, and these are just some little skewers. You guys can use shish kebab sticks as well. Once you have that part of the pumpkin created, you can glue it down and then add in some more fall florals and leaves. So this is very, very budget friendly, under $15, and really however many florals you want to use on it. And the best part is it's removable.
What we're going to do, this is the piece that we made for on top of the crock. It's very simple. It's just a plastic plate that we glued everything onto. Makes it simple and easy to store this, and that way you're not storing the container as well, so it doesn't take up as much space. And simply just add it on top of the crock.
So let me know what you think about this blooming pumpkin Tipsy centerpiece. Very fabulous, very budget friendly, and something you all can realistically create. And think about this. You could really create something like this for any season. Just take out the pumpkins and use some type of different floral in the center part and a piece of styrofoam. So I hope you guys are loving this and are totally inspired to create something amazing and very budget friendly using your Dollar Tree supplies. For this DIY, we're going to create a fall centerpiece using a pool noodle. I'm simply going to cut the pool noodle down the center and use 1/2 of it. So you want it to sit flat on your table. The next thing I'm going to do is use this greenery I had left over from last summer decorating for a friend of mine's wedding. I'm simply going to add the greenery to the pool noodle and just using some floral pick stems, pick that in. I'm going to use the other part of the greenery that I cut off and then add in some pumpkins. So these are just pumpkins from Walmart and Dollar Tree. And again, I'm using a floral stem. I poked that into the bottom of the pumpkin, super easy. And then I'm just going to hot glue them so they stay nice and in place and pop them into my pool noodle. Here is what we have so far. Now think about this. You all can really get creative and customize this centerpiece to suit your decor. My idea for this is to have something that is removable so you can take it on and off your table while it's on display looking pretty, but then if you want to have some room in the center of your table, you can easily remove it. I'm adding in some fall leaves, some Dollar Tree mums, and some beautiful florals from Hobby Lobby. This is everything I had left over in my craft stash. I'm simply picking it in piece by piece, adding hot glue so it'll stay. I found this pretty little rose garden canister from the thrift store, and so I added some of those roses in as well to make it nice and romantic. Now I'm going to take my easy bow maker and some pretty ribbon. I'm using this beautiful fall plaid color, and the easy bow maker is going to hold the center point of my ribbon as I create this bow. It's going to be a 7-inch bow to start out with on either side, and then I'm going a little bit smaller with each loop. I've recently been diagnosed with carpal tunnel in my right hand. It's pretty severe, so using this easy bow maker is really helping me make pretty bows, and you can find them on Amazon at any craft store. I'm also using some ribbon that I found at the thrift store, mixed in with some Kirkland's ribbon, and really just created a fun little fall bow that matched in with all of my pretty florals. I'm going to take a pipe cleaner from Dollar Tree and tie that off in the center, super easy, and then I'm just going to pop it into my pretty fall floral. I really love this idea because I used all of the florals that I had left over from decorating some of the main spaces in my home, and so I have not had to buy any florals this year, believe it or not. I had a lot of things that I was already able to use on hand. I added this in with this beautiful table setting, and I think it's super elegant. It's also really nice because guests can talk to each other without having a massive floral piece in the center. My kiddos commented on how much they loved it, so it's fun, fabulous, and pretty budget friendly. You all asked for me to share with you how to create a garden chandelier, so we're going to do it on a budget using Dollar Tree supplies and florals from Hobby Lobby. I'm taking 2 of these Dollar Tree garden gates, and I just zip tied them to the center, and then I'm taking a Dollar Tree wreath and zip tying that to the little garden gates. Next, I'm going to take a pool noodle, strip it down the center, and attach 3 of the pool noodle pieces to the center of my garden gate. I'm adding in this greenery that I found on Amazon. I actually decorated a friend's wedding, and I had it left over. I added 1 swag to the top part of that, and then another swag to the other side of that. The next thing I want to do is begin to pick in some pretty leaves to add into the little garden swag. Now, I did want to share with you guys, this is how it looks so far with just the greenery, but I realized that it was going to be hard to see the blooming part of the chandelier floral, so I needed to go ahead and attach it to the top part of the chandelier. And so what I'm going to do to attach it is to just simply zip tie 3 parts of the garden floral to the arms of my chandelier. And you guys can really do this anyway. If you don't have a chandelier, simply hang some hooks from the ceiling. Be sure to find a stud and drop some fishing line down. The next thing I'm going to do is add in some beautiful leaves. And this garden chandelier is inspired by the garden canopy that we did over at Jake's store at Bratton House Antiques. You all loved that video and asked me to create something on a smaller scale, so this is kind of my rendition of that, adding in my own flair with it as well. Now I'm picking in some beautiful fall leaves, and these have been collected from Dollar Tree, yard sales, Hobby Lobby, and even some weddings that I've helped decorated from. You guys, I have honestly not bought any fall florals or pumpkins this year because I had so much left over in my craft stash. Something that really helped me was to get everything out so I could see what I had. Now I'm going to add in some florals up underneath the beautiful chandelier floral. And I really just mixed in some beautiful purple and brown leaves with some white flowers. Some of these are even not fall flowers, so think about thinking outside of the box and adding in the beautiful flowers that you love. Remember, you can customize this to suit any style of decor. You could also do one of these for Christmas, which I hope to share with you all as well. Here is the final result, and let me tell you, this makes such an impact in the center of my sweet little dining room. A lot of you all have asked about my home. I am still in the same home that I have been in since I started YouTube and Facebook 10 years ago. We simply painted the walls and added in some pretty trim, but I've been in this home for 20 years and I have raised my kiddos here. Super sentimental, and now that the kiddos are off to college, I have so much, space, and so I'm really glad that we just stayed in this small little home. So here is how everything looked, and I'm going to share the other floral in another part of the video. Let's create a beautiful floral swag using a pool noodle. So I just cut one strip of the pool noodle. I left this pool noodle completely attached because I'm going to hang this around a tall standing lamp. I'm now adding in some beautiful greenery. I had this left over from a friend's wedding, so I thought why not go ahead and use it. It's going to be the base of my floral swag. The next thing I want to do is hot glue in some pretty fall leaves. You can really create this type of swag for any season or decor. The next thing I wanted to do was go ahead and add in my bow. That way I had it added onto my swag and I can create the floral piece around it. I'm using this easy bow maker, which is really amazing. I ordered it off Amazon several years ago. You can also grab it at the thrift stores and craft stores. But basically this helps hold the bow. Especially if you have carpal tunnel like I do, and it's trickier to hold these nicer, bigger bows. So there's lots of tutorials online for the easy bow maker and how you guys can make bows, but I simply added loads of fall ribbon, some from the thrift store and some from Hobby Lobby. Now I'm just going to tie it off on the center, and to attach into the pool noodle, I'm taking floral stems and bending them in half, adding some hot glue and just pushing them into the bow and the different florals. Also, you can add hot glue to the ends of your florals like I did with the sunflower and this pretty little Dollar Tree mum, and that way they will stay just a little bit better. All of these florals I actually had left over in my craft stash, and that's what the great part is about making these swags, is you can really use what you have on hand. I found this beautiful stand-up lamp at the thrift store for $6. I was super excited. It does have like a little bit of a wobbly bottom, but if you guys love to thrift and flea market, you're kind of used to things being a little bit wonky. The next thing I want to do is tie my little swag on, and I just used 2 pieces of ribbon to do that. Now I'm going to add in some more pretty florals and work while the swag is standing up on my little floral lamp. It almost looks like a lamp post, but it's not. I feel like my dining room is straight out of a Hallmark movie this year. I feel like I got left at home with the glue gun and flowers, and I just went to town. My daughter was actually home helping me. She's going to be going back to school soon, and my big kids are off to college. So wow, if you guys have been with me, I've been on social media for 10 years, and you guys have probably watched me change, and my kids are grown and all of that fun stuff. So as always, thank you for all of your love and support, and let me know what you think about this beautiful fall swag. I had so much fun creating it, just adding in loads and loads of pretty ribbon and florals. And again, I feel like it's like off of a Hallmark movie. Let me know if you guys would like for me to do a fall home tour, because I have really been inspired to decorate this year, and so I would love to share what I'm doing in my home with you. And also don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, because I'm hosting a huge I Love Fall series, and I will be including guest designers. There's my little puppy dog Benty Bear. Jake from the Bratton House Antique Shop in Branson, Missouri has been a wonderful guest designer, as well as Caleb, designer to the stars in Nashville, has also been on my channel as well. So look for more fun things to come. Now the next thing I want to do is go ahead and set this beautiful table. Excuse my mess, but if you guys have ever crafted, you know what a huge mess crafting can make. But I'm going to go ahead and set the table, and I layered this pretty little fall placemat. It has a little bit of gold flecks with this Dollar Tree gold charger and this beautiful antique dish. Jake actually loaned me this beautiful set for some of my fall videos, so thank you, Jake, at the Bratton House in Branson, Missouri. I just adore you all, and I'm so thankful to collaborate with you and for the lovely antiques you've been allowed me to use in my videos. I'm now going to add in some pretty cups, and this is a quick little napkin fold that Caleb taught me. You simply fold your napkin out flat and then grab it from the center, give it a little bit of a flippity-do, and add in your pretty little napkin ring. These are gold napkin rings from Hobby Lobby. They're in the pumpkin shape, but they're really pretty and cute. I got these last season, and it just makes for a really pretty napkin. And Jake and Caleb let me know that it's a nice thing to do to set your napkin off to the side. That way you can see the beauty of the plate. And these plates are absolutely stunning and gorgeous. I love the golds and so perfect for fall. So I added in my pretty little centerpiece, and I created this again using a pool noodle. So go back and watch that video if you guys need help making that, and then give your little napkins just a bit of a fluff. And then wow, I'm just having so fun with this, and this is really easy. My napkins were even kind of wrinkly, and honestly, you guys, these napkins are really for decor. use only. My family always sits down. They move my plates aside, even if I tell them to use the pretty plates, and we use just paper napkins. So, but it is nice to have a pretty table set in your home. It's just a really nice little touch. And it just makes things feel really festive. So anyway, as always, I'm going to be doing a fun little giveaway. So I need you guys to comment down below and let me know what your favorite fall baked treat is. You guys can also drop a recipe down below, and I will be hosting one of those Louis Vuitton dupe purse giveaways. You guys don't want to miss out on that. I hope you're enjoying this I Love Fall series. Don't forget to follow and subscribe. I'm going to be doing a ton of giveaways, spoiling you all, and I hope to take you guys even shopping at Dollar Tree and Hobby Lobby to find some more fun goodies and maybe even do a Christmas preview. Comment down below if you guys would like to see that and if you're enjoying this content. It is such a blessing and honor to create for you all. Again, I'm in my same little house that I've been in for 20 years. During COVID, we painted it gray and white, so it does look a little bit different, and we pulled up the old carpet. So anyway, for this Dollar Tree DIY, I want to share with you all how to create a beautiful, easy little pumpkin Dollar Tree wreath. So from the Dollar Tree, you're going to grab one of their pumpkin wreath forms and 3 rolls of nautical rope and a little bit of patience. So you're going to take the nautical rope and you're going to hot glue it onto the strips of the pumpkin. And I started on the second rung and then just looped the nautical rope around the top and then back down and around the top and back down. I'm going to take nautical rope along the edge, the outer edge, to finish it off. I will tell you, you might want to keep a spatula on hand and maybe even something for your little fingers for glue gun burns. The next thing you want to do is take some jute twine, and this is just an extra step to kind of secure it on there a little bit better, but this is the baker's twine, I believe, from Dollar Tree. You can use jute twine, and I just gently wrapped it around the outer edge of the little rungs of my pumpkin. The next thing I want to do once I had that finished is take some of this Dollar Tree polka dot ribbon, and it's wired, so it makes a great little bow, and you just take the loop and make 2 loops with the ribbon, and then I'm going to zip tie mine off. I really love zip ties right now. I'm having problems with my hands with some carpal tunnel, so they really secure things really well. Then I'm going to take the little ribbon loop and zip tie that to the top of the pumpkin. I want this to stay on there really well. Once I have 2 loops zip tied to the top of the pumpkin, I'm just going to add in the extra little bit of tails, and then I'm going to zip tie everything together. This is really easy peasy, and this craft is pretty easy as well. You just need some patience. You might want to put on a good show or pour some tea and light a candle. You might hear my puppy dog Benji Bear in the background. Also, I went with some Dollar Tree little fall leaves, and I added that to the top. Now my favorite part is getting creative. I'm going to use some Dollar Tree glitter ribbon, and I'm just going to tie a little shoelace bow, and a shoelace bow is just like a bow that you would use to tie your shoelaces. Super easy. And then I'm going to add in some pretty greenery. I had this pretty greenery and little orange rose in my craft stash. I've used this little rose for years, and I thought this would be perfect on top of this pumpkin topiary, or this pumpkin wreath, excuse me. But really, you guys can use any embellishments that you want, anything that you have in your craft stash. Really try to use what you already have on hand if you can. And then here is how it turned out. I did add in just a little bit of plaid ribbon. The plaid ribbon was from Hobby Lobby, but I think it was like $1.50 because all of their fall ribbon is 40% off right now. So here is the finished product. I think it's fun, fabulous, and very budget friendly. For this next DIY, I want to make a large pumpkin candy piece on a stick. So you're going to take 2 plates and whatever candy of choice. We had quite a bit of chocolate and some Tipsy Pops on hand. And you're going to take your plates and you're just going to put them together, and then using one of the Dollar Tree balloon sticks, you're going to add that inside of your plate, go all the way to the end with it, and then you want to tape it up really well. The next step is to add some pumpkin colored tissue paper. Now you guys could really make these in any size and shape and whatever theme you want, but this is a pumpkin lollipop. So we're just going to take 2 pieces of tissue paper, and I actually did end up using one more piece, and you're just going to gather it at the base of that balloon lollipop stick. And then you want to tie that off, and to tie that off, I just simply used some little curly ribbon from Dollar Tree. They have a really great curly ribbon at Dollar Tree in their party section. So I just took 2 pieces of the curling ribbon, but it's just off of one whole loop. You just want to kind of break the 2 loops in half to make it go a little bit further. So you're just going to tie off your pumpkin lollipop at the base with the curly ribbon. I used 1 piece on the back and then 1 piece on the front. And again, you guys can decorate this however you see fit. You might want to add one more little double of tape to the back to keep it nice and secure. Here is how it looks so far. The next thing I want to do is draw out a pumpkin eyes, nose, and mouth, and I did this with a black party plate, but you guys could really use felt or anything that you have on hand. And you might notice that I'm dressed up like Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz. That's the theme of today's set of videos, because I do have a little terrier that looks like Toto, and I'm going to be dressing up for Dorothy and The Wizard of Oz, and I'm going to be making a Scarecrow wreath later in this video. But I just thought that it would be fun and just kind of change things up a little bit. I mean, might as well with Halloween approaching. My parents always dressed up for Halloween, and as kids we had so much fun. So I just thought it would be fun for this video. So I hope you guys are enjoying it. The next thing I'm going to do is just tie a cute little black bow at the top once I have my eyes, nose, and mouth hot glued on. You guys can also just tape that on as well. So really, this is a very kid-friendly project. And then once you guys have that cute little bow at the top, you might hear my little Toto / Benji Bear dog in the background. Here is the finished product. I think it's so fun and fabulous, and I gave it to my daughter after school when she came home, and she was in love. Of course, it is filled with some nice little surprises of candy, and you guys could even put some fun little gifts inside of that. Fun and fabulous on a budget. For the next Dollar Tree DIY, I'm going to show you guys how to make a super fun little Halloween candy treat bowl. So I took this little purple witch hat from Dollar Tree, and I just cut a hole in the top. I did use a box cutter, and I had to heat the box cutter up to kind of cut through that plastic. It was a little bit tricky, but I was able to get the cute little trick or treat sign in the top. Of course, that part is optional, and be careful with that part as well. I'm adding in these little Dollar Tree candy corn pumpkins, as well as I added in the little Dollar Tree candy corn Halloween trees, but decorate it however you see fit. I poked some holes in the little styrofoam pumpkins, and then I'm adding in some Tootsie Pops, which are my favorite, to the top part of the pumpkins just to make it look super adorable. And then I'm going to add in the rest of my little candy bowl. I'm always nervous that I'm not going to have enough candy on hand for trick-or-treaters, even though we don't really get that many trick-or-treaters. I decided to get a little bit extra with this and take some of these Dollar Tree Rich legs, which I had in my craft stash, and I just want to glue those to the back of my trick-or-treat sign to kind of make it look like a witch had landed on the sign. You know, in Wizard of Oz, when the witch lands on the house, I always think that's such a kind of fun and scary part. When I was a little girl, I loved the Wizard of Oz. I loved how colorful it was. I loved how Dorothy was trying to get back home and she made all those fun friends. And I love dressing up as Dorothy from the Wizard of Oz. That's going to be my theme for this video and for my Halloween trick-or-treating this year. I have a little niece that's 8, and I think she will love it. Plus, I have a little terrier that kind of looks like Toto, and his name is Benji Bear. So I just hot glued the witch legs to the back, and then I had some of these Halloween trees. I think I've had them in my craft stash for 2 years, and I have not known what to do with them. So I thought we're going to add them to the back of this candy bowl. So it's kind of like a candy bowl centerpiece. I'm going to put it in my entryway for the holiday. and then decorate that all up with the fun garland, which I'll share with you guys in my fall home tour. But I thought this was a fun and very unique idea. I just kind of crafted it up on the fly. Fun, fabulous, very budget friendly, and very trick-or-treaty. For this Dollar Tree DIY, let me share with you guys how to jazz up those Dollar Tree witch hats. So you're going to take the little wreath form and remove the tinsel. Super easy, just cut it off the back. Then I'm going to take this buffalo check plaid fabric that I had in my craft stash and hot glue that in and around the top part of the witch hat. And then to make the witch hat a little bit cooler, I'm adding in some foil to the top. I zip tied it to the top and then wrapped the rest of the fabric around the top to give it just a little fun witchy flair. The next thing I want to do is cut 8 pieces of ribbon, and they're about in 8 to 10 inch strips, and I did 3 different ribbons for this project. I also cut up 2 rolls of Dollar Tree Deco mesh. I cut them in about 8 to 10 inch strips, and I just used what I had on hand, which was orange and brown, but it would be really cute if I had purple and black. Hey, I'm using what I've got. I'm going to make bundles now to go onto my little witch hat. So you want to take 2 pieces of mesh and 3 ribbons, layer those on top of each other, and then just zhuzh them together. Use a zip tie and just zip tie those to the outer spot of your little witch hat. And you're going to continue to fill up that whole witch hat until you get to the end. So again, I used 2 rolls of deco mesh, 8 strips of ribbon per color, and that completed my entire witch hat wreath form. I love making these. I think they're such a great alternative to wreaths, and they're really actually, you guys, very budget friendly depending upon how much goodies you put in them. And you'll probably see my daughter off crafting to the side. She was home. I actually started this project in the evening. It took me a couple of hours. It doesn't seem that long when you're watching the video, but anyway, I had a little zhuzh to the top and then a cute little Dollar Tree sign. It says, "Welcome to our haunted home." And then I added in some of that deco mesh tubing. You simply just take it and tie it in a shoelace bow, and if you double it up, it gives it a little bit more bang for your buck and a little bit more fullness. The next thing I'm adding in is some purple sparkly Dollar Tree ribbon. I realized I needed some purple to add in there, and then I'm adding this beautiful jewel to the top. Natalie from totallydazzled.com sent me a bunch of beautiful jewels. If you guys love crafting jewels and they're budget friendly, and she's got a little small business, please go support her. I will leave a link in the description box below, but it's Natalie from totallydazzled.com. And then I added some cute little spiders to the top of that. And here is how our fun and fabulous little Dollar Tree witch hat wreath came out. I make one of these pretty much every season, and I'll keep it at my home, or sometimes I'll give some away to friends. But I thought it came out fun and fabulous, very budget friendly, and looks great with this fun little Dollar Tree sign and that Target pillow. For this next Dollar Tree DIY, I want to show you guys how to make a fun fall Halloween candy corn bouquet. So you're going to take one of those plastic scalloped vases from the Dollar Tree, and they're plastic, and then you're going to take one of the smaller cylinder vases and put that down inside of your larger one, and then just add candy corn around the edge. This took 2 of the Brock's candy corn. I got that from Walmart, but it took about 2.5 bags, and those bags are a little bit larger than the ones at Dollar Tree. The next thing I want to do is add in some Dollar Tree leaves. I love these larger leaves. They look so high end. I'm using 3 of them, 2 on the outer edge and 1 in the center, and then I'm going to add some of this greenery with the little tiny sunflowers in it. This was a super easy little arrangement. I added in some smaller leaves and then some Dollar Tree sparkle ting down inside of that. And then I found these cute little pumpkins on a stick, and I believe these were a couple bucks at Walmart. Dollar Tree also carries pumpkins on a stick as well. I really like these buffalo check plaid ones that I found. And bam, we have a fun, fabulous fall Halloween floral, very budget friendly and oh so festive, you guys. I'm absolutely loving this. Again, I have wanted to try this forever and I have not gotten around to it. And look how cute it goes with this little Dollar Tree trick or treat sign. I feel like the Dollar Tree signs this year are so nice. Look at how adorable this sign is. It looks like something from Hobby Lobby, and it was $1.25. Fun and fabulous on a total budget. For this next Dollar Tree DIY, I want to show you guys how to make a super adorable Scarecrow wreath using Dollar Tree supplies. So grab one of their witch hat wreath forms, and I just used a placemat, cut it apart, and wrap that around the top to make the brown part, and then added some burlap. Next, I'm going to cut up 2 rolls of Dollar Tree Deco mesh, and I had a gold roll and a candy corn roll, and I just cut them in about 8 to 10 inch strips, and then I cut 8 to 10 inch strips of some more of the Dollar Tree tablecloth or placemat to get the brown, and then some burlap ribbon, and then I'm just going to layer those on top of 2 bundles of mesh and tie that on with a zip tie. So you're going to take and bundle 2 pieces of mesh, layer the brown and then the lighter brown or burlap on top of that, and then zip tie it. I'm zip tying these all to the top rung of the little fall Scarecrow witch hat. So you're going to continue to add your bundles until you get a nice full fluffy group of layers of bundles. And again, 2 rolls of Dollar Tree Deco mesh, and you're going to cut 8 to 10 inch strips of 2 different types of ribbon, or 3, whatever ribbon you guys have on hand. I used a placemat for part of my ribbon, but I did want it to match the top of that, and hey, that's what I had on hand. The next thing I'm going to do is take one of these little Dollar Tree $1.25 Scarecrows. I did cut the pants off and take the stick off, and then I'm just going to hot glue that to the top part of my little wreath. He's just poking out saying hi. Then I had this pretty ribbon from the thrift store. It was $3, such a score. I'm going to take and make my little bow hacks. You're going to take and measure your bow from your hand to your elbow. That's going to make about a 12-inch bow, and you're going to want to loop it over on itself 4 to 5 times until you get a nice little full fluffy bow. Try to use wired ribbon, and just use whatever ribbon you have on hand, but you want a pretty decent roll of ribbon if you're going to add bows into this part. So I'm going to do 4 of these bows, and I do have this pretty plaid ribbon from Hobby Lobby. I'm just going to zip tie this to the end, 2 in the center and then 1 on the other end. Make sure you fluffy dovey out your ribbon. Fluffy Duffy out. I'm not sure Fluffy Duffy is a word, but it is in my book if you guys have been with me for a while. Anyway, I'm going to make 3 more of these bows, zip tie them into the center, and Fluffy Duffy them out. Again, fluffing out your bow and your deco mesh really helps your project look a little bit nicer. I always fluff it when I get it on my wreath, and then after I kind of hang it. You guys might notice I'm dressed up like Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz. I thought that would be perfect. I had this costume actually left over from last year, and I'm going to use it again this year, but I thought it would be perfect for this video. And I actually have a little Toto dog, my Toto dog Benji Bear. And here is how the wreath turned out. We are saying hi to you guys. Benji Bear says hi. He loves all his puppy dog fans. We thank y'all for being here. It's a blessing and an honor, and I hope you guys are loving our cute little match. And I even popped a bow on Benji Bear. So fun and fabulous on a budget. Supplies. Let's create a beautiful Dollar Tree fall centerpiece on a total budget. So we're also going to use a pool noodle hack again. You want to take a pool noodle from the Dollar Tree, or you could just use some styrofoam if you don't have a pool noodle on hand. You're going to score it down the center and simply take it apart. We're going to use this on the outside of the plate to put our florals into. But again, you can also just use some pieces of styrofoam as well. So you want to ring it around the plate, kind of like a tire and a wheel. Does that make sense? Add some hot glue, but then we found that duct tape worked a little bit better to get those pool noodles to stick together. The next thing you want to do is cover it with some burlap. This is kind of a mesh burlap to where your florals can stick on there. This part is optional. You could always use a floral moss around the edge of your project as well. The next thing we want to do is add some of those little Dollar Tree. They're kind of like little wine or champagne glasses. We're flipping one upside down and adding that on onto the plate, and then another one facing upwards and back to back. That's going to give us some height on our centerpiece. We popped a little Dollar Tree votive down into the center, and now I'm going to create a super easy little bow. I'm just taking my ribbon, going end to end with my ribbon, trimming that off. This is just a great little easy bow hack, and then you want to tie that off in the center and pop that on to the front part of your project. We're then going to build a floral around this part. So you can see that Jake is actually creating a base on the pumpkin with one of the bases of that little plastic glass that we used. So grab some of those plastic champagne or wine glasses. They're not really champagne glasses, and I don't really like their wine glasses, and have some fun using those as a height idea for your centerpiece. The next thing we are doing is just adding in some beautiful florals. Thank you to Jake for helping me out with these projects and being such a great creative force and inspiration in my studio. Today we're actually at Bratton House Antiques creating. He made a little side room for us. So here is how everything turned out after we added in those beautiful florals and the pretty little bow, and really, again, very budget friendly, under $15 or $20 depending upon how many Dollar Tree florals you want to use, but everything in this project was purchased from the Dollar Tree. You also might notice that Jake was using a glue pan. I've never used those before, so that's a really neat thing if you're working on a lot of projects and you want to go quickly. It dries faster, which is really neat. I'm a kind of a glue gun girl, but let me know if you guys use those glue guns. I found it fascinating and I'm starting to get used to it as well. So fun and fabulous on a total budget. I'm also sharing with you guys different ideas of where you can put these centerpieces in a more formal dining space or a more rustic dining space, so they kind of can go either way. Love that.
On this particular project, what we're going to do, they have these amazing little food serving pieces. We're going to show you a cool hack with it to turn it into a really cool centerpiece. What we're going to do is take one of the garlands that you can get for $1.25, and we're going to chop this sucker up, and we're going to glue the leaves inside of this bowl. This is from the food section, and where all the plates, all that type of thing is at Dollar Tree. It's a great container. What I'm going to do is we took one of the garlands from this season. We're going to pull one of the leaves off. I cut a stem, I cut it right at this point, and I'm going to reverse the direction of those leaves. So it was on here like this. I'm going to take it so that whenever we glue this to the bottom, it's hanging so that the leaves are facing up to you, up towards you, so that you can see it.
Okay, so the next thing we want to do is just add in some more leaves, and you want to take your leaves and check them, push them up inside the bowl so you can see the pretty bloom of the leaf.
One of the things that you want to make sure, hide your glue up at the very top of this, because we're going to glue two bowls together and tie a ribbon around it so that we're hiding all the ugly glue places. So the way that I do my fluffy little bows, guys, I simply just gather it where I've cut it. I'm going to pull out, that's probably about 4 inches. I'm going to fold it. I'm going to come back. I'm going to do the same on the other side. And I'm going to lay those so that it's flat right here, and just come back and do one more
and equally on the other side as well. And then after I cut it, I'm actually going to use the ribbon.
Another piece of ribbon to make your tails?
Yep, to make my tails. And we can maybe even tie it to that. Nope, let's just do that and then we'll glue it.
So now I'm just adding the bow to the front of our centerpiece. We're popping a pumpkin in, again from Dollar Tree, and then we're going to make kind of a blooming floral coming out of that. We found these cute little gnomes in the Dollar Tree Plus section, so we're going to add that on top of it just for a little bit of interest and height. You guys can always take any of these creations and kind of tweak them to make them fit your table centerpiece idea. And here are Jake and I were just super fast working. And can I also tell you guys how amazing it is to have somebody here helping me cut floral stems and use glue guns and all of that kind of fun stuff. I know I shared with you guys earlier about a month or two ago that I have developed carpal tunnel in my crafting hand. So I've been a little bit worried about the amount of work that I do. And so this is a nice relief for my hands to have somebody else in here helping me out. Here is how our blooming gnome floral centerpiece turned out. I'm featuring on this silver platter. These are from Dollar Tree. They're not actually silver, with the cute little Dollar Tree pumpkins in around it, and I added a candle, but you could also use it on its own. So fun, fabulous, and very budget friendly, and it definitely adds height and interest to any centerpiece idea. For this Dollar Tree DIY, I'm going to share with you guys how you can take some of those cute little Dollar Tree fall gnomes and just give them a little bit of extra razzle dazzle pizzazz. So these are actually in the Dollar Tree Plus section, so they're closer to $5, I believe, but they're super cute, great size, and we're just going to take and add some pretty little sunflowers to the outside of her hat, and you guys can really get creative with these. I share with you guys all the time how to fluff up your little Dollar Tree bunnies and different things like that. So I thought, you know what? Hey, why not one of the gnomes? So I'm adding just in some Dollar Tree flowers. So this is a really easy craft that you guys can do, and even something you could do with your kiddos. They could cut little stems off for you and help you with the placement. And then if you even help them with a glue gun, they could do that as well. I'm adding in some of the little pretty berries and pit berries in and around the top part of her hat. I think these gnomes are adorable, and I think it's really fun to add a character into your seasonal decor. I know that my kids, when they were little and I would add like teddy bears or just different little characters into the decor, they would come home from school and it just brings excitement, interest. And if you guys have grandkids, you guys could even name these and put like a little cute thing on the front. Anyway, so many fun ideas, fabulous and very budget friendly. Okay, and here's how our cute little gnome girl turned out. Just adding that bow and that little flower really made her customized. And so if you're going to be adding in gnomes to your wreaths or garlands, this is just a fun idea on how to jazz things up on a budget. For this Dollar Tree DIY, I want to share with you guys how to make a super cute little easy blooming fall candle. We're going to take some of the Dollar Tree ribbon and just wrap it around the candle and give it a little dab of hot glue. You guys can easily customize any of these candles, and this Dollar Tree candle was actually in the Dollar Tree Plus section. So I'm adding this pretty fall chevron ribbon to the outside of this. I'm going to hot glue this ribbon in the center. I just took the ribbon and looped it end to end, and that's going to make a quick little easy tuxedo bow. And then I'm going to hot glue that to the center part of the ribbon sleeve that I put on there. The ribbon sleeve, it is important to add to your candle so you have something to create your blooming candle from. This is a super easy little project if you're not ready to go all in on fall and you just want to add a tiny little touch. The next thing I'm going to do is clip off some of these pretty florals and add them in and around my little candle. And again, you guys can really customize this to suit your fancy by adding in your own ideas, but we're going to add in some little tiny sunflowers as well. And here is how our beautiful blooming candle turned out. So fun and fabulous, and it really mixes in with the rest of these decor pieces that we created. Make sure you guys are subscribed and following along with this fall series. Lots of fun giveaways and lots of amazing ideas. Let me share with you guys this super amazing and easy garland hack. You're going to take 2 garlands and simply just zip tie them together. So I'm creating a fall garland to go over my kitchen window, and note right here, I do not fall. I just had the idea to do a kitchen garland over my window, which was a bit tricky. I have a tiny kitchen, but anyway, these are just 2 garlands from Hobby Lobby, and I zip tied them together, and I'm simply draping them over the top part of my kitchen window. Now, my kitchen window is rather tall, so I had to jump up on my sink. And if you guys know me, I broke my ankle in January, so I did have somebody down below helping to make sure that I did not fall. The next thing I want to do is just zip tie this garland to the top part of my little kitchen window here, and I made sure that my curtain could still slide back and forth. Next thing I want to do is zhuzh this garland up. It looked a little bit sparse in places, and also, side note, I do like things to look pretty over the top. So I'm taking just some random fall florals and gathering them together. I used a leaf and a pretty peony and some mums and a little bit of sparkle. And really, these are just pieces that I had off of other fall florals that I'm gathering together. I'm gathering together in a zip tie, and then I'm just going to fill in the sparse places in the garland. The next thing I want to do is take some of these Dollar Tree pumpkins. Here's another little easy hack. You take a Dollar Tree pumpkin, you take a spare just floral piece, you punch it into the foam pumpkin, and you can simply hot glue it into any garland piece, or you guys could even wire it in. I was in a bit of a hurry to try to get this project done. It looks like it was going pretty fast, but it actually took a couple hours. And I still feel like I have more that I could do with it. The next thing I want to do is create an amazing little bow for my fall garland. I'm using this cheap easy bow maker. You can grab them on Amazon or your craft store. And then I found this ribbon at the thrift store. It's actually wired ribbon from Kirkland's. Super surprising, but it was $3 originally and then half off that. So I thought it was a total steal, but I'm just going to basically take this ribbon and loop it in to my easy bow maker, and then I'm going to splurge and use some of this super nice expensive Mackenzie Childs ribbon. They also have a dupe of this check ribbon on Amazon. Just type in check ribbon. Make sure when you're making your bows that you are using wired ribbon. And there's a ton of bow tutorials on the Easy Bow Maker. You just type that into YouTube. I just used a couple different layers here and then zip tied them together, and then I'm popping them into the garland. And here's how this fabulous over the sink kitchen garland turned out. You can use this really on any curtain rod. Make sure your curtain rod is securely attached into your wall because the garland will add weight. I think this is fabulous, and I have had so many compliments on anybody that has entered my kitchen. It makes it feel so fall festive and happy, and I basically just gathered supplies that I had left over in my craft stash. Let's create a fall vignette for my kitchen, starting out adding the cake plate, and then I'm going to make a beautiful bow for this little 3-layered pumpkin. So I grabbed this ribbon that I found at the thrift store. It was originally $3 and half off, so I got it for $1.50. You can't beat that. I'm using my Easy Bow Maker, and I'm simply pressing the loops into the Easy Bow Maker, and I used 2, and I'm making a 7-inch bow, and I made the next loop a little bit smaller. Now I'm splurging and using some Mackenzie Childs ribbon. With this splurge designer ribbon, I'm just using a tiny bit of it in the front. So that's a little hack and tip and trick that I can give you all. If you have really expensive ribbon, try to use your less expensive ribbon in the back and add that expensive ribbon with just a loop or 2 in the front. The next thing I'm doing is I'm going to add this cake plate to the corner, and then I found this little three-tiered pumpkin from Walmart, and I'm going to take a little hook and just hook this bow into the styrofoam pumpkin. You guys could also use floral wire, but this is going to instantly make this bow feel really fabulous and this pumpkin feel very designer on a budget. So if you go on like the Mackenzie Childs or designer websites, you can find their designer pumpkins and they're super expensive. But if you can't afford those pumpkins, you can add a ribbon to your decor piece with some of that designer ribbon. Sorry about that, guys. My dog started barking, but I'm adding in this little light up fall kitchen sign. And then I decided to put some organic chocolate chip granola bars into this cute little check container. And these are from Aldi's. They're super inexpensive, but they're a great little treat. I like to always keep these on hand in case I get hungry for a snack. It helps me not eat, junk. So here is my son's dog, baby Archie. And then we have baby Theo, which is also my son and his girlfriend's dog. And then I have my puppy dog, Benji Bear, but they like to come on the weekends and visit me. So it's so funny. They get so riled up. They have fun getting into my pumpkins and just being wild and crazy, but they really are Benji Bear's BFFs, and they're just so adorable. Oh my goodness. And here's how my little fall vignette turned out with a cute little Hobby Lobby sign. I love this pumpkin caramel cinnamon swirl candle from Bath & Body. If you guys like smell goody fall candles, oh my goodness, so delicious. And you saw that I was getting ready to make some mashed potatoes. Drop a comment down below if you guys would like to see any cooking videos. I'm starting to think about fall cooking and baking. For this DIY, I want to share with y'all how to create a festive fall little swag that can go underneath or along a picture frame. So what I'm doing is creating this for my coffee bar space, and I'm gathering together a sparkly floral pig with some leaves, with some more brown leaves and some little green eucalyptus. And these are just basically cut off branches that I had from some other crafts. I'm going to gather them together and just zip tie them off. And I want to make it about the size that my little picture frame easel is. So the meat of it is going to go at the top, and I want to be able to set my pretty little gold picture frame, which my daughter gave to me. One of her friends was giving it away, and it was actually from Walmart, but it's so great. I love these because those Dollar Tree prayer cards that I share with you guys every morning on my stories go perfectly with the little picture frame, the gold one from Walmart. Walmart's doing some Anthropology picture frame and mirror dupes. So the next time you're in there, check out some of their picture frame and mirror sections. The next thing I'm adding in are some pretty little Dollar Tree pumpkins and just some more fall florals that I had laying around in my craft stash. Another little hack is you guys can easily add pumpkins into any craft by taking a floral stem and punching them into the base of your foam pumpkin and then just hot gluing them into your swag or your arrangement. And that's just what you can see me doing here. I added in 3 different little pumpkins and some more little goodies, and just keep going with it until you're satisfied with the colors that you have going. Of course, I had to add some romance with that pretty rose. And then here's my little Dollar Tree framed prayer card. I'm using the pumpkin spice latte Bath and Body Works candle. It makes my kitchen smell so delicious. And then I have to share with you this prayer card. It says, "Create in me a pure heart, O God, and renew a steadfast spirit within me." And that's Psalm 51:10. And those prayer cards are from the Dollar Tree. A lot of you all asked me about those. Here's my little kitchen. I actually have the boys, which are my puppy dogs, helping me out in here. That's baby Archie, and then there's baby Theo and Benji Bear, and they're so adorable. So baby Theo and baby Archie are my son's dogs, and there's my little dog Benji Bear. He's so funny because the Australian Shepherds are taller. It's 3 ingredients, so delicious. Let's get started. So the first step is to add a packet of softened cream cheese to your baking dish. I just used a spatula to spread it all over the bottom of the pan. The next thing you want to do is add a can of chili. This is meat-free chili. My daughter is vegetarian, but you guys can use any can of chili that you love. The next thing you want to do is add some sharp cheddar cheese. I added almost the entire packet, but I left some back. And then you're going to pop it into the oven at 350 for about 20 minutes. In the meantime, I'm going to take a loaf of French bread and kind of cut out the top of it in the shape of a football. This was as much of a football shaped bread as I could find at Walmart. Then I'm going to take some Fritos and add them to the outer layer of my little platter here. You guys could also serve this with Tostito chips, but the Fritos were so delicious. Once it is all finished, you're going to remove it from the oven, and let me tell you, it smelled delicious and the cheese was all bubbling and ooey gooey. And this is the first time I have ever tried this, you guys. So I'm really excited for this recipe, and I'll leave it in the description box. Okay guys, anything that calls for cream cheese is going to be delicious in my book. Let's try this out. I have never tried this before. It is so ooey gooey. Yum. Oh my goodness. Okay, this is so delicious. Yum. Wow. Now this next step is totally extra, but this is a fun way to make this very party friendly, or if you wanted to make it into kind of more of a hearty meal. I'm going to take all of the chili mixture and put it into this bread bowl, and then I'm going to add the remaining of my cheese to the top of it. I went ahead and melted it in the oven for another 2 to 3 minutes, and then I put some sour cream in a little Ziploc bag, and then I'm adding kind of some football stripes because this is going to be a delicious football treat. I think this would be so fun to bring to a football party, and my daughter was so excited when she got home. She was like, "Wow, Mom, you have been cooking it up." She loved it. It was delicious, and it was our dinner. So anyway, serve with veggies and some chips and you're good to go. Okay, my big kids are heading off to college, so I'm going to create some care packages using goodies from Dollar Tree and Walmart. I grabbed all their favorite snacks and these giant bowls from Dollar Tree, so you can put some Dollar Tree filler in the bottom, and then I'm adding Scooby snacks and fruit roll-ups, their favorite gum, Pringles. I feel like, you know, when you're off to college, you might need some little study snacks or just snacks in general. I know my son is always hungry, and so instead of just sending them off to college, with boxes of snacks, I thought, why not make them really cool? I'm adding in Cheez-Its and some cookies. I tried to make, kind of healthy, but kind of snacky. I'm also adding in these roaring waters, which are like a Capri Sun, but they're 0 sugar. And then I also went to Dollar Tree and I just grabbed like some things that they might need that they wouldn't buy, like Band-Aids and car freshener and pens and just some different mom things that they would have if they were at mom's house, but maybe they're not buying. And then of course I added in some chocolate. Dollar Tree carries a cellophane, so it's going to take 1 roll of cellophane, and you're just going to take another bowl and tape the other bowl on top of your goodie basket, and then add the cellophane, and then a quick little Dollar Tree ribbon. And then I went a little bit extra. I got this Dollar Tree hanging sign. I want to remove the little football sign from it. I made 2 of these, one for my son and one for his girlfriend. And I'm going to add my son's name, Max, and then I'm going to put Go Bears because that's their team mascot at the college that he's going to. They're actually going to the same college, so I made one for Max and one for Sky. And so I thought this would just be a really fun way to send them back to college with some goodie baskets and super fun and fabulous. And I apologize, but I kind of left off the part, but the top part of it is just another one of those Dollar Tree bowls taped on top. So I was making these for the college kids and I couldn't leave my back to school high schooler out, so I went ahead and created a smaller goodie bag for her, and it's more of like a candy bowl. So I just used the candy bowls from Dollar Tree, filled it up with some of her favorite snack goodies, and then added the candy bowl to the top, and then I'm going to tape around this. For some reason I lost the footage of the first part of this, but I'm going to share with you guys that next week I'm going to have my guest designer on the show, and we're going to do a fun Halloween one of these with Jake, so stay tuned for that. But I had to share with you guys just a quick clip of doing one for my daughter because I did one for the big kids, and then I'm just going to take and tie a cute little bow around the top of this. And these Dollar Tree bows are really nice. For some reason also, you guys, when I went to Walmart, they had no bows. They were like completely out of bows and wrapping paper. It was kind of strange. Also from totallydazzled.com, thank you Natalie, she sent me a couple of boxes of beautiful crowns. So we're going to do kind of a royal Christmas, but I decided to add a crown to the top of my daughter's little candy basket thing, and then I added some cute sunglasses because she's a cool chick. So just to kind of say, hey girlfriend, you did a great job back to school, everything went amazing, I'm so proud of her, she's so diligent and timely and just such a great kiddo.
Since you made it through your first week of school,
Thank you.
this is her little care package.
Thank you so much. Oh my gosh, I love it.
Now let me share with you guys how to make an easy little personalized Dollar Tree football sign. So I took one of these larger fantasy football legend signs that I got from Dollar Tree, and then a smaller Dollar Tree little family sign that I clipped off from another one. I'm going to personalize this to my son Miles's football picture. So this is an older picture. The guys are out of high school now, but I wanted to give this as an idea for you guys, to create something personalized for your kiddos for really any sport. So we're going to put Miles's picture on here, and then I meant to actually take this family part and have it say family football legend because I was crafting upside down and backwards. I missed that part and had to remove it and take out the fantasy part. But if you have a fantasy football player, you could always put your husband's or your kid's picture on there. Just whoever is a football legend in your home, go for it. We're now going to take some of this cute little football ribbon. I actually found this at Walmart, and I just made a shoelace bow, and I hot glued that to the other side from where I put the picture on there. So his school colors are red and black, so I'm just going to take this cute little polka dot bow. I made another little shoelace bow, and I call it a shoelace bow. It's just a bow that you would use to tie your shoelaces basically. Then I'm going to add in some black ribbon on top of that. So I just did kind of 3 layers for the school colors. If you guys can tell, I'm feeling very festive. It's Friday Night Lights tonight. I'm actually finishing up this video right before I head off to the football game, so I'm super excited for our first football game, even though the team that we're playing is going to be pretty tough tonight. Another way to personalize it is to go ahead and add whoever the football legend in your home is that you're making this little football sign for, add their name underneath that top part of the football. And so it took 2 Dollar Tree signs, and one had, you know, the little detachable football sign on there, and then the other one was a larger one. They also make football blanks, I believe, so you guys could do that as well. But here is how it turned out. Miles, I am so proud of you as always, even though you're out of high school and not in football anymore. I love you, son, and I just think this is so adorable, and he is one of the football legends in my home. In fact, all my kids are somewhat legend in my home.
Okay, I'm back to try another TikTok viral recipe. This time we're trying the s'mores cookies. My kids are back to school, so I thought let's make a fun little treat. This is gonna be a sweet treat, but I'm gonna use the pre-made cookie dough, semi-sweet chocolate chips, some graham crackers, and some marshmallows. 4 ingredients, let's assemble these.
Okay, let's assemble these super easy, awesome s'mores chocolate chip cookies. You want to lay out your graham crackers on top of your baking sheet, and I just added foil, but I didn't add any type of oil or anything to it. I then added chocolate chips and marshmallows, and I will tell you those chocolate chips and marshmallows kind of danced around on the baking sheet, and I would add a little bit less chocolate chips and a little bit more marshmallows next time. The next thing I'm doing is adding some Nestle Toll House. This is pre-made cookie dough. You guys could always use your own homemade cookie dough, but I was trying to do this quickly to share this recipe with you guys. And hey, I am a busy mom, so if you're busy and you need some semi-homemade recipes, kind of like Sandra Lee, I've got you guys. So just take and kind of roll that dough in between your hands and layer that over your marshmallows and chocolate chips. Pop them into the oven. The original recipe called for 13 to 15 minutes. I only did it for 13 minutes, and I felt like that it was perfect. My oven does cook just a little bit hot.
Okay friends, now it's time for the true test. I cannot even wait for these to cool off, so I'm gonna go ahead and have a bite. They look so ooey gooey and delicious. Yum. Wow. These are so good. Yum.
10 out of 10 cookies.
She loves them.
And of course, we can't leave out this video without Benji Bear. He was back here while I was editing this video. He found his little green ball, and while I was at Walmart picking up treat supplies, I also got him a fresh new bone, which he loves. He's so funny. This is his little green ball. And as always, I want you guys to comment down below and let me know what was your favorite DIY in this video and which one will you be recreating. And do you guys like that I'm in my kitchen sharing recipes with you? I think they're fun and easy on a budget. Decor piece using real wood, but because this is inside my home, I'm just going to use faux wood. So I'm taking the trees and bending them out to make them look a little bit more natural. Another thing Jake has reminded me of and really helped me in my crafting and decorating. I was actually doing this mantle project over the weekend, and all my family is behind me kind of watching me. I had a bunch of family in town, but anyway, so I'm just taking these lighted branches and I kind of just arrange them to make them look a little bit more realistic. I put them end to end on my mantle, and then I'm going to take and then just bend the branches together to get them to stay. The next thing I wanted to add was 2 garlands, and I found these garlands at Hobby Lobby, I believe last year. So I'm just going to lay the garland over one side and then lay it over the other side, and then I took a zip tie to secure it and twisted that into the branches to really make sure that it doesn't fall off. And this is going to give a beautiful glow in the evening, and I think it's such a romantic idea for creating a decor piece. And you guys could also use Christmas lights if you don't happen to have these little trees from Hobby Lobby, but they have them every year in white and brown. And then again, I'm just taking this garland and I'm really fluffing it to make it look a lot more realistic and natural. So I hope you guys are inspired by this. We're then going to take and add in some pretty picks that I found from Dollar Tree and Hobby Lobby. Here's how it looks so far. It actually looks really, really beautiful if you love kind of a more natural scaled down approach. I had the inspiration though to use some beautiful flowers. I found these little bundles at Hobby Lobby last year. I also thought about putting some yellow sunflowers in, but ended up opting for some orange sunflowers for this project. And I'm simply clipping them off and then just taking them and kind of wiring them around little tree branches. And again, you guys can go really bold or you can go a little bit more neutral. It really depends on what kind of fall decor you're looking for. And if you don't have a mantle to decorate, no worries. You can decorate an entryway table, a pretty coffee table. You can always scale it down to fit your size or even make it larger if your home is larger. Mine is a little starter home. It's the same home I've had for the last 6 years on YouTube, and I've actually lived in this home for 20 years. We did get the flooring redone a while back because the carpet was pretty bad after raising our kids in it. So the next thing I'm doing again is just taking some of these flowers that I pieced apart. Another thing that Jake has taught me, and my dear friend Jake is from Bratton House Antiques, and he is just a friend. So anyway, but he taught me to piece apart my florals more and try to separate them a little bit to make them look more natural. I'm kind of a maximalist type of gal, so I'm really learning a lot, still using kind of my maximalist ideas, but also scaling it back just a little bit as well. So again, I'm adding in just more flowers, and you guys can really get creative with this idea. When I create a piece like this, I always try to romanticize my decorating by using an idea from a movie or just something that I've had floating around in my imagination. And this was inspired by Pride and Prejudice. I love that movie. I love Mr. Darcy. And I just thought it would be fun to make a Mr. Darcy Pride and Prejudice inspired wedding. I feel like if Elizabeth and Mr. Darcy were getting married in the fall, they would have some kind of beautiful kind of Victorian bridal bouquet. So here is my finished project. I really just got to creating. So I added in tons of pumpkins. I used the velvet Dollar Tree pumpkins. I used the little pumpkins from Walmart, and then the 3-tier pumpkin topiary you see in the center is also from Walmart. I used some bridal florals just left over from a project that I had decorating last year. These were all things I already had on hand. Of course, I do have quite a bit of flowers. So I hope you guys are loving this design, and here are my son's doggies. We have baby Archie is the little white Aussie, and then baby Theo's a black Aussie, and then of course my puppy dog Benji Bear. Now in the next 2 DIYs, I'm going to share with you guys some of my past fall mantle decor ideas, just to give you guys some different ideas on how you might be able to create your space and some tips and tricks that I have used in the past. So I'm hoping that you all are loving this mantle decor idea and that you're going to do something beautiful in your home. There's that beautiful velvet Dollar Tree pumpkin. Actually, my mom was here when I was creating this, and she was in shock that those little velvet pumpkins were from Dollar Tree. So it's fun what you can find on a budget, and then the little Walmart goodies, and then some of the pretty Hobby Lobby flowers. So thank you guys again, and then keep watching so you can see my other mantle transformation ideas. And so hopefully you guys can get inspired to do something fabulous in your home as well.
Should've told you straight away everything I have to say.
What we're going to do is take our topiary, simply just pull it apart. It's just glued together. And so if you pull the 3 pieces apart, it's going to make it a lot easier for us to bejewel it. The one thing that we want to do, for those of you that are not good at painting, we're going to show you how to just simply take ribbon And we are going to glue this onto it to create some stripes so that we give a little bit more dimension and to make it a little bit more like a higher end topiary. And what we're wanting to do is be able to stretch this ribbon so that it fits inside the pumpkin, the natural stripe of the pumpkin. Once again, here at the very bottom of the pumpkin, I'm going to add some glue, and then I'm going to pinch my ribbon so that it makes the pumpkin, it makes the ribbon fit inside the pumpkin stripe. Just to make sure you guys know how we achieved what we did, is we simply took some ribbon, we cut it to the length going around the pumpkin. We rouged it up right here where we started to glue it down. And as you can see here, it's just as a little bit of a pucker there. I glued both of the edges down first, and then I added some glue right in the center, pushed it down, found that to be the easiest. I also did it on the bottom because we are going to be gluing this to a base, and so I want this nice and flat as well. What we're gonna do now is we're going to take some of the diamond wrap, is what they call it there at Dollar Tree. We cut it into strips of 2. What we'll do is simply glue it to the top and pull it down the stripes of where we added the ribbon.
I absolutely love creating designs at Bratton House Antiques with Jake. It is such a blessing and honor. He is such an incredible designer, and it is great for me just to get out of the studio, have some fun, and be inspired by somebody else who is as creative as I am, but in a different way.
Jake has the idea to go ahead and bedazzle this cute little pumpkin, which we're going to end up putting back on top of this one, to go to do a strip of 2 on the Dollar Tree jewels, and then 1, so every other one, just to kind of update you on what we're doing now.
For these bejeweled bedazzled pumpkins, we used 1 roll of bling wrap per topiary. So we're just continuing to attach the bling wrap with hot glue. It's a little bit tedious, but well worth it. Here's how they look completed. And then once you have all of your bling wrap attached, you're going to add a generous layer of glue to go ahead and reattach the pumpkins back together. I'm telling you guys, these turned out so high end.
Jake found this super cool sparkly ribbon. There's 5 foot on it. What we want to do now is create a base for our pumpkin to kind of elevate it. So we are going to bedazzle our candlestick. I think we're going to wrap it around the top here, and this ribbon is really cool. It has actually sticky on it. I'm going to go ahead and reinforce mine with a little bit of glue. Sometimes the sticky stuff from Dollar Tree doesn't stick as planned. So we're using this ribbon around the base of this candlestick, and we're just going to cut it to fit every part of the candlestick.
So we're adding this fun bling ribbon around the top part of our candle and the base. You guys could also use the bling wrap, or really pretty much any ribbon you choose. We also ran some of the diamond wrap down the side part of the candlestick and added a beautiful little bling jewel at the top. Jake had an amazing big giant craft basket of jewels, so we went to town. Also, if you guys need beautiful jewels, totallydazzled.com has amazing jewels. I'll leave a link in the description box below for you guys for that. Now we're wrapping our plate in just some more of this pretty sparkling ribbon, and we're using some E6000 glue to then attach everything together. So add some E6000 glue around the rim part top of your candlestick, and then go ahead and just glue it back together. By this point in time, my hands, which have a little bit of carpal tunnel, have a little bit of trouble getting everything on there completely straight, but I think they came out absolutely fun, gorgeous, and here is the final look. And I can't wait to share with you guys this amazing charcuterie board and floral arrangement as well. The dream team is back together. That means Caleb is back in the house with Jake and I, so you guys don't want to miss the rest of this.
Hey guys, dream team back together. We have Jake from Bratton House Antiques and Caleb, designer to the stars. We're going to set up a quick little fun table with charcuterie, the cute fall craft, and a nice flower bouquet. Let's get into it.
Hey guys, so guests are about to arrive, and we are so excited to be putting together this little fall bouquet for you to add in. So whenever you're in a quick pickle and you need to just really get some flowers going, I'm going to show you a quick and easy way to get the flowers processed so that they're beautiful for your bouquet. All right, so you've got all of our flowers here. and we want a nice clean look for our bouquet. So we're just gonna take and we're just gonna strip our roses. So you're just taking off all of the leaves, and we're gonna do that to each rose.
I have always wondered how to do a really nice high-end bouquet, especially when, you know, friends or family bring me roses. I've always wondered how to do this, so I'm super excited for this.
Okay guys, so you also wanna see here, sometimes some of the rose petals can be just a little frayed. So you wanna make sure that you take off those extra outer edge petals here so that your rose is nice and smooth and beautiful.
So here's what Caleb is talking about. That petal is just kind of not super pretty. So he's suggesting for us just to go ahead and pull those off. Thank you, Caleb. That's a great tip.
So today our roses are going to be our main floral, and then we're going to bring in these beautiful fall button mums. We've got the green, the yellow, and also some purple that we're going to be adding in here together. So on your filler flowers, you also just want to process them as well. So any of the lower leaves that are hanging here, just kind of clip those away, just so we have a nice clean stem here. Okay guys, so it's also important to really elevate that arrangement. You get all of those leaves stripped off of the roses, your filler florals, our button mums. You also want to bring in some greenery. It's just a little bit, not too much, for the bouquet that we're creating. The reason is that it just adds a little bit of flair and a little bit natural look to the bouquet to help fill in some of those open spaces. And when you're building a bouquet, you want to make sure that when you look at it, everything is completely full, nice and neat and rounded, rather than spots that look like they're missing something. So the greenery is going to be our help filler to really finish out our bouquet.
So Caleb actually designs really, really high-end weddings in Nashville. I like to refer to him as designer to the stars. His talent is unbelievable. Thank you, Caleb, for lending your talent and fresh thoughts to this video.
Okay guys, so we have our floral arrangement starting to come together. We've just got a little bit of greenery added in here, and you see all of our nice clean stems. We want to have our filler as true filler, and our roses kind of coming out to make that pop of color. So stay tuned and we'll keep going.
So Caleb has shared a really cool floral trick with me, and you take your rose and you just run it between your hands like this, and it's gonna open that bud out. Love that.
Okay guys, and so we're getting really close to having our fresh florals ready for the guest party. You see we've got yellow here, so we need to come in and add in just a little bit of purple to kind of break that up. Then we're just gonna flip it over, and so you really wanna do every other side here. So whatever you do on one side, you kind of wanna mimic on the other side to kind of give it that full look.
So here is the final look. This is a taller bouquet that we did. Kind of you can use as a centerpiece or a display piece. If you know you go to the grocery store, grab some grocery store roses and a bundle of mums or some other filler flowers, add in some greenery, and you have a gorgeous, fabulous arrangement. Totally on a budget. You can get these flowers pretty much anywhere. Now Caleb is going to take from that taller floral arrangement, he's going to show us something a little bit shorter and a little bit more designer. He's used a floral foam inside of an antique vase, and he's just going to add in greenery first and then pick in the roses. He's using some easy little floral snips to snip down the stems. Caleb truly does designer weddings and events for the stars in Nashville, so his talent is absolutely incredible. You can see him rolling the roses that makes them bloom out. He does incredibly expensive weddings as well, so to have him on my channel and my show here is just such a huge blessing and honor. I really love having guest designers on, and so just light up this comment section with love and gratitude. I am so thankful and blessed for them to be here. Now I'm going to play some music and let you guys watch the master at work here. So here is the final look on bouquet number 2. This is absolutely stunning, fabulous, and gorgeous, on a budget, and very quick and easy. Perfect backdrop to these bejeweled pumpkins that we created. The next thing that we're going to do is Jake is going to prepare a fabulous charcuterie board using a little Dollar Tree $5 pumpkin board. This is going to be incredibly over the top and amazing with goodies you can find at your local grocery store. Stay tuned. For this next DIY, we're going to create an amazing charcuterie board in the shape of a pumpkin designed by Jake. This turned out so delicious and absolutely fun and easy for your next fall party.
Whenever doing charcuterie, I always like, I like a nut and dried fruit piece, and so that's what we're going to do here. I started out with some dates, kind of made the stem, then I'm going to take some apricots, and I'm going to just simply line the outside of my board with it.
So we found this wooden shaped blessed pumpkin board at a Dollar Tree. It was in the Dollar Tree Plus section. It was only $5, and I just knew it would be perfect to make a charcuterie board with. So Jake used pitted dates for the stem of the pumpkin, and they used dried apricots to make the outline of it, and made the lines within the pumpkins from dried pineapple. In between, he used one of his favorite nuts that comes actually from the Ozarks. It's Ozark Nut Roasters, and it's called the Salted Caramel Cashews. If you have a chance to grab these, you are going to absolutely love them. They are beyond delicious. They also picked up from Sam's Club some North Almond Pecan Crunches. And you guys, this charcuterie board is delicious and pretty healthy. I've never tried dried pineapple before, and it was actually really delicious, but look how adorable this is. It is in the shape of a pumpkin, and then it just added some cute little milk chocolate covered nuts at the base of this. So he also added in some fun little kind of pumpkin flavored cookies to the top here, and is displaying the entire thing on an antique tray from Bratton House Antiques. So this is just a fun way that you guys can use antiques combined with Dollar Tree items and make it a little bit more luxe for less. So comment down below and let me know what your favorite fall treat is. And if you guys are going to be creating something similar to this, these are great for parties, and they're also really great just to kind of have on hand. Lately, my daughter and I have just been, really eating a lot of veggies and dried fruits and nuts, and it's just really healthy, and it's an easy go-to snack. So loving this and amazing for parties. Here is the final look for our amazing fall charcuterie board. So tasty and delicious. And these fun fall pumpkins and Caleb's Floral, absolutely fabulous.
You have a toffee cashew. You have a nut cluster, which is my favorite. We call it crack. You have some dates, some cookies, and of course your dried apricots and pineapple. Pineapple is my favorite.
Thank you so much. So in about 30 minutes, we created this beautiful floral arrangement. Thank you, Caleb, for the design. Jake and I crafted up these amazing fun fall pumpkins, and then Jake came up with this amazing idea for a twist on fall favorites, a pumpkin charcuterie board. I have never seen anything like that.
At the end of every long crafting day, everybody deserves a nice charcuterie board, some flowers, some good friends. Hope you have a great day. Thanks for watching.
Thank you, guys.
We would love to invite you all to stop by Bratton House Antiques in Branson, Missouri. We have a special coupon code for you. And thank you, Jake. Now through September of 2023, take 10% off. Use code DREAMTEAM10 to receive your discount. We can't wait to see you guys.
So thank you all so much for joining me on another fun and fabulous crafting and decorating adventure. It's a true blessing and honor to have you guys here. Listen, also don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and punch the bell, click all. It will update you guys every single time I post a new video. I post several DIY videos a week on YouTube as well as several a day on Facebook. I just want to keep you guys inspired and energized to craft and decorate your homes, and I do it in a budget-friendly manner. Listen, I am so thankful and blessed to have you guys here. If you guys are new, welcome. I'm Olivia's Romantic Home. I'm a DIY crafty mama. I have been on YouTube for 6 years now, so I have tons of crafting and decorating videos for you guys. Just pop to my YouTube page and click on one of the playlists. I decorate for fall, Christmas, all of the holidays, and I just love to kind of go a little bit over the top, and I share with you guys how you can make your homes boutique gorgeous on a budget. Also, don't forget to comment down below the secret question in this video, because I am hosting a Rose Forever giveaway. You guys don't want to miss out on that. I want to spoil one of you guys to have some forever roses in your home. Grab a cup of coffee and some hot cocoa and comment down below also your favorite fall cozy drink. And if you guys want to leave a favorite recipe down below, let's light up this comment section with positivity and goodness. Listen, when we put out positivity and goodness, that positivity is going to come back to us. So I am going to hug all of your hearts so tight. I'm going to wish you guys a gorgeous, fabulous, blessed day. Until our next video, remember, be kind to yourselves and be kind to one another. Talk to you guys very soon. Bye-bye.